Sci-fi is one of the most popular genres in Hollywood, often producing the highest grossing films in any given year. These movies attract audiences with their futuristic ideas, the technology, and their societies. They might send us traversing across time and space. All these films might be set a little closer to home in a dystopian world ravaged by an apocalypse, or on a present-day Earth that's confronted by an invasion of aliens or robots. Because of their futuristic ideas, many sci-fi films can often feel trippy. They boggle our minds with everything from their technology to their plot twists, even if their stories are set in a world we might recognise. Welcome to Popcorn Program. Here is our list of the 10 trippiest sci-fi movies of the last 25 years. Pop pop! In number 10, we have Everything Everywhere All at Once from 2022. Everything Everywhere All at Once follows a Chinese immigrant played by Michelle Yeoh named Evelyn as she explores alternative universes and also alternate versions of herself in order to save existence from her omnipotent daughter who can literally do or be anything she wants. Everything Everywhere All at Once is a little bit of everything, some action, some drama, and lots of trippy sci-fi fiction. We get to visit a lot of diverse and bizarre universes during Evelyn's adventure. In some worlds the characters have grotesquely long sausage fingers, in other worlds the characters are merely telepathic rocks with plastic googly eyes. Everything Everywhere All at Once's imaginative concept wowed moviegoers and critics alike, earning it the Oscar for Best Picture. In number 9 we have Annihilation from 2018. Annihilation blends horror and sci-fi to create one of the most unique alien films ever made. A team of researchers is tasked with exploring and investigating a mysterious quarantine zone on Earth known only as the Shimmer. But what they find in this alien world ends up bringing their own humanity into question. As we explore the Shimmer, we come across strange and eerie mutation of plants, animals and human remains, and who could ever forget that monstrous bear with its terrified human screams? One by one, each member of the team loses their mind and humanity, seemingly merging with life inside of the Shimmer. By the time we reach the end, it is unclear if we're seeing the actual characters or their alien doppelgangers. In number 8 we have Arrival from 2016. There have been many alien movies over the years, but there's been nothing quite like Arrival. When aliens inexplicably arrive on Earth, linguistic experts Dr. Louise Banks, played by Amy Adams, and Ian Donnelly, played by Jeremy Renner, are sent to communicate with and determine the motives of the heptapods, an extraterrestrial species named after the 7 limbs on their squid-like bodies. It's one of the trippier but intriguing alien designs we've ever seen in a film. The heptapods perceive time non-linearly. That is, they see the past, present, and future simultaneously. Louise comes to understand their language, which alters her own perception of time. Throughout the film, we see flashbacks of Louise and her dying child, or at least we thought they were flashbacks. In a surprising twist, these scenes are revealed to be visions of a future that has not yet come to pass, and the father of this child turns out to be none other than Ian. It's a mind-bending but powerful reveal that highlights by Max Richter's beautifully haunting tragic shore on the nature of daylight. In number 7 we have Interstellar from 2014. Christopher Nolan's sci-fi epic Interstellar, one of his best ever works, takes the concept of time travel to a whole new level. The year is 2067, and Earth is a dying planet. 35-year-old Cooper, played by Matthew McConaughey, who is a former NASA pilot, joined a space expedition to find a new world that can inhabit and ultimately save humanity. Cooper's space travels after the alter the flow of time. Most of the team lands on a planet to investigate it, while one member remains on the ship. Although only 1 hour was passed for Cooper and his team, a staggering 23 years have passed for the lone team member on the ship, and also for the people back on Earth. Not trippy enough for you? Alright, later on Cooper goes hurtling through a black hole and finds himself in a 4th dimensional space, a seemingly endless yet claustrophobic place that allows Cooper to visit the past. He communicates with his daughter across time and space, helping her figure out a way to save humanity. In the end, Cooper is reunited with the people that he helped save, including his daughter who's aged into an old woman. Meanwhile, Cooper is barely aged at all, even though he's technically 124. In number 6 we have Looper. Looper is a cool twist on the concept of time travel. In this futuristic society, a crime syndicate uses time travel to send targets back in time, where they're murdered by contract killers known as loopers. Joe, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, is a looper waiting for his next hit from the future, who turned out to be an older version of himself. It's hard to find a trippier sci-fi premise than that. The rest of this story is a game of cat and mouse as Joe hunts his older self, who's played by Bruce Willis. The film's trippier scene is when an older hitman gradually loses his limbs because his young self is currently being tortured. We see this character basically decompose in real time in front of our eyes. Oh, and there's a kid with insane telekinetic powers as well. In number 5 we have Inception from 2010. Christopher Nolan's Inception, another one of his greatest ever works, cleverly instills the fantastical nature of dreams into a thrilling heist narrative. It follows a team of thieves who use technology and skills to penetrate a target's dream and steal their innermost secrets for personal gain. Inception uses dreams as both a setting and a plot device. Mind-bending visuals toy with our perception, blurring the line between fantasy and reality. The whole movie keeps audiences guessing on what's real and what isn't, all the way up to his iconic and hotly debated ending. Because he spends so much time in dreams, Cobb, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, uses a totem, an everyday object that only the dreamer knows, to distinguish between reality and the dream world. Cobb's totem is a simple metal top, and if it keeps on spinning it never falls, then Cobb knows that he's still dreaming. At the end of Inception, after finally reuniting with his estranged children, Cobb gives the top a spin to make sure that what he's experiencing is real. It spins and spins and spins, and then the movie just ends. Was the top about to fall? No one leaves it up to the viewer to decide whether Cobb is still dreaming. In number 4 we have A Scanner Darkly from 2006. A Scanner Darkly is an animated adult sci-fi thriller based on the eponymous novel by Philip K. Dick. So right off the bat you know this movie is going to be a trip. The film is set in the near future in America where 20% of the population is hooked on a hallucinogenic drug known as Substance D. A Scanner Darkly follows an undercover cop who gets hooked on the drug and begins to lose himself as a result. We experience the surreal imagery of the drug throughout the movie. Visually, A Scanner Darkly feels like a bizarre acid trip, and that's the point. In number 3 we have The Fountain, also from 2006. Darren Aronofsky's movies are known for their dark tone and surreal imagery, and The Fountain is no exception. An epic that blends fantasy, science fiction, drama, and romance, The Fountain consists of 3 storylines that are all woven together to create its narrative. The first follows a 16th century conquistador who's looking for the Fountain of Youth for his dying queen. The second storyline centers on a present-day scientist who wants to cure his wife of a terminal illness. And then finally, the third storyline follows a 26th century astronaut who pursues the meaning of life and loss through his unfinished research. However, wait! There is more. Each protagonist and love interest are played by Hugh Jackman and Rachel Weisz, basically representing 2 characters who are bonded by love across time and space. In number 2 we have Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind from 2004. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is a beautifully weird story that mixes science fiction and romance. Clementine, played by Kate Winslet, and Joel, played by Jim Carrey, are former heartbroken lovers who live in a world where people can voluntarily erase their memories. A procedure that both Clementine and Joel opt to take, wiping their passionate but volatile relationship from their minds. We journey through Joel's mind as his memories are wiped, and as the memories are destroyed, so are the settings of those memories, which makes for some mind-bending visuals. Desperate to escape the destruction, Joel's mental projection of himself tries hiding his mental projection of Clementine in memories that don't involve her, which leads to a strange scene when an adult Jim Carrey plays a baby version of Joel. With its unique premise and emotional story, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind stands as a shining gem in the sci-fi genre and has been hailed as one of the greatest films of the 21st century. And number 1 we have Donnie Darko from 2001. Donnie Darko is the kind of movie that only an independent studio could pull off. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal in his breakout role as the titular character, a troubled teenager who experiences hallucinations. From beginning to end, Donnie Darko is a weird and trippy film. Jet engines that inexplicably fall from the sky, visions of a creepy costume rabbit who tells Donnie that the world will end in 28 days, mysterious vortexes and time travel, and then there's the film's ambiguous finale, which leaves you wondering whether any of the movie actually happened. Despite its underwhelming box office numbers, Donnie Darko has become a cult classic in the years since its release. And there you have it, there is our list. So what do you think? What's your favourite sci-fi film of all time? Let us know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you're new around here. That's all for now, so I'd like to thank you for watching, and we'll see you later. Pop pop!